Welcome to All Blood and Sweat. I'm Jack Watson. Let's get started with 2025 Goodwood Festival of Speed. It's a Ferrari F80. It looks great in my opinion, but sounds awful. Here's a 296, and they sound pretty similar. They both got the 6, right? And then this is the 296 Speciale with the little integrated spoiler on the back, which actually looks pretty good. This was on the Ferrari stand. Ferrari are just nailing it right now from a design perspective, to be honest with you. Like, they cannot go wrong. And I'm not a fan of like overly tracked looking cars with all these like fins and vents and stuff, but if you're going to do it, that's quite subtle compared to other brands. That's the SF90 XX, which it's the FX like Le Mans style one. This is for the Gordon Murray celebration for 60 years one formula, as it's called. So there's like a few of his cars. Brabham BT44, my favourite looking F1 car ever, just looks absolutely insane. And then you've got a few of his other little things which you've seen on like his collections, or Jay Leno. There's the Gordon Murray Rocket, which I think, or the Light Car Company Rocket, which they're shooting up in value just because of who it is and the history. Then you've got a few sort of Le Mans McLaren F1s, including that long tail there. Which is pretty special. Like, I love the cleanliness of the OG McLaren F1, but the long tail also looks pretty good, to be honest with you. Then we've got another Le Mans McLaren F1, and then we've got the sort of modern Gordon Murray automotive cars. So we've got the T50 when he goes around the corner. By T50. Now we have the T33, which is close to being a very, very nice car in my opinion from a design perspective. Packaging and all that is great. That's lovely. That's the T50S. The noise is incredible. I love the noise of that car. This is sped up, some fireworks, 60 years, one formula. That's pretty mental when you think about that from a career perspective. What a legend. And while we're on Gordon Murray, here's a little close-up of the McLaren F1 on the McLaren stand. Peter Stevens design. Absolute masterclass in packaging, proportion, shut line management, like these big headlights, which you don't see a lot these days. Rear end's just super clean, very like of its time, but also timeless, if that makes sense. So you can tell it's like a late 90s and noughties, or it's an early 90s car, but it just looks insane. Then we've got the P1, which I also love, one of my favourite McLaren designs, and now we're on to the W1. So a lot busier compared to sort of having its grandfather and its father next to it, but I mean, it's of the time. There's a lot going on in my opinion, and I do miss that sort of clean, timeless design of the earlier days. The front end looks great. I think the front end's actually really, really successful. That shut line going around with the graphics cool. They had their Le Mans car out the back with this like integrated vent into the light, which is really nice. I was quite impressed by that actually. This is what it'd be going up against, and I think it looks better. Here's the only Le Mans winning car which has been cleaned from its victory dirt for some reason, and mega. And then this is what happens when people have too much money. Lazante put lots of bits and bobs on the car. Here's a Singer Carrera. I think it's called the Carrera Cup Singer. Notice how they're not allowed to put any Porsche badging on any of their cars anymore, any branding from Porsche. Whale tail though, awesome. But yeah, if you look around on these videos, it's just Singer, Singer, Singer. They've even got their own little S logo now, and the Singer wording themselves, because as I said, I think since that sort of Dakar car, lovely scoop, love that. I think since that Dakar car, they're not allowed to use any branding. So you can see the S logo there on those cross beams in the back. And look at the window sort of geometry with the hidden spoiler. Little red arrows flying over, that was pretty awesome. Then we've got the Senna's Lotus 97T with the John Player Special JPS livery. It's my favourite livery. The black and gold is just so epic. And then you've got the Type 0 concept car from Lotus, which is cool. I like it. The Renault Turbo 3E, which is just wacky. I love the design is like very modern, like retro futurism done right, but it's over the top, but it works. It's like when you do over the top and you do it properly, it works in my opinion. And it's signed by a couple people I don't know. Can't read their signatures. Probably some French rally drivers. This is the production version, which is like 500 horsepower and 135 grand. The RS Turbo 3E. And it's in this really reflective box, so on a sunny day in Goodwood, it's really hard to actually look at it properly, which is really fun. Thanks, Renault. But it's got some cool features, like look at the way this spoiler resolves into the body, into the cant rail. It's pretty nice. And this is the production Renault 5, which is starting from like 27 grand, which is mental. I think it's actually going to sell very well if people are still buying EVs. And yeah, the bread is not included apparently, but you can have a little nibble while you're on your road trips. Interior is great, exterior is great. Good price, good for like a sort of, you know, close range run around. Pretty good car, in my opinion. Here's my mate Morgan getting into it. Yeah, look at that, easy. And you get some cock branding. This is the Alpine version, the A290 Rally, yeah. Which again is pretty cool, probably my choice. This is the A390, their little electric crossover. It's quite a heavy car in real life, but design's quite successful. Had a look at the Jag Type 00. I don't know why everything's called Type these days. I kind of miss it when cars had names. Yeah, I mean, it's better in real life, but it's like, it's so close to being great. It's just, they're just missing a little bit of refinement, in my opinion. Like the shot lines are cool, proportions cool. I mean, it's like Rolls-Royce Spectre proportions a little bit, but yeah, I mean, like some of these black elements, they're like over and under flush. I think it might just be the model making. And then you've got some epicness hidden in the back garden of like, yeah, the Range Rover line. Look at that. Oh, even that colour and spec. And there's what some other companies are doing with their products. This is the Urban Defender, like Landaulet's. I don't know if they're calling it a Landaulet, but to me it's a Landaulet from like the G-Wagon times. So what happens if you've got too much money? MG CyberX concept. Cool proportion package in real life. They're obviously going sort of Jimny, G-Wagon, Defender-esque. Would rather it wasn't in matte satin black, but and there's a little logo on the tail light. Thank you, my assistant. And yeah, it's not bad. It's cool. Actually, I like it. Very chunky, kind of utilitarian. And then they've got their little sub-brand called IM, which stands for like Intelligence in Motion. This is the IM5 and the IM6. They're like Tesla rivals. They're kind of like Model S, Model Y money, I think. That guy was pushing a button, I assume, for the boot. And yeah, interesting. Like, it's funny, they're like MGIM, but completely different design language. So will be interesting to see how they differentiate those two brands. The Ioniq 6N was there with the facelift. Pretty cool. Yeah, the front's really successful. The rear is pretty nice, but not as successful as the front, I think. Love the blue and blue and the white rims. Don't know what these are. Joking. Porsche 962s, they're mental. Love them. Now, Zonda is the only Pagani I like, and yeah, there's a lot going on. These are the Chimera automotive. There's the sort of Evo. This is the 38. The 37 is 500,000. I don't know how much the 38 is. It's probably similar. They're lacking a little bit of like refinement in my opinion. They're a bit OTT, but it's still cool. I mean, I love the lines. They're sort of the line share they're based on. This is the 037, which is the Evo 37. You know, it's meant to be like the 037. This one's 500,000, or starting at 500,000. Probably the Martini livery would cost you another 50 grand. Yeah, actually quite cool, but again, like maybe a little bit too. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's cool. It's just it's a little bit too like resto mod try too hard LED headlights in a classic look, you know. It might have been, I don't know, it's just missing a little something for me, but it is a cool car. And then this one is actually the Beta Monte Carlo Turbo, which sort of raced in the 70s and 80s. It's got a 1.4 litre turbo in it. Koenigsegg Gemera, still love this car. Don't know why they're putting extra fins on it and stuff. I guess it's still a hypercar at the end of the day, but they don't really need to do that. Roof box is cool. Yeah, I love a Gemera. It's basically a kind of a Panamera, but with two doors. And then the CC850, just, yeah, retro-ish, because it's only 20 years old, the car it's based on, 25 years old, maybe even 30. But yeah, Sasha Selepanov and his guys did a great job on this. I love it. It would be my choice if I had all the money in the world. Lovely. Even the white on white looks super cool. Yeah, it's just a great design. Look at that. Lovely. Like all the shut lines, everything is kind of working really well. Then you've got the Aston Valhalla. Not a huge lover of these modern Astons, but the Valhalla is a lot better than the Valkyrie. I think this is quite well done. Here it is, having a little squiz. Yeah, Valkyrie is just, for people that love like track focused cars, great. But from a design perspective, I just think it's a bit busy and it's got like a weird fishy face. And yeah, here's some interesting sort of checkerboard carbon, which is a nice retro touch. There it is going off to the track. I didn't actually see much going up the track. FFX Evo, LaFerrari base, mega. Then this is the Huara R Evo Roadster. Nothing to say here. Just don't like the Pagani Huara. More Red Arrow fun with some Karma Automotive. They had a really bad wrap on it, so you can see the shut line, but overall design's okay. It's pretty cool, well modelled. Then you've got the Singers going out on track, as discussed earlier. That's the turbo. This is the Carrera Cup, I think it's called, or just Carrera. Very cartoony with those wheels. A little bit maybe too much deep dish. Then you got the new Bentley Conti, almost having a crash with a Praga, so that's cool. Might improve the look of the Praga, to be honest. Very busy. And the Maserati MC Extrema is extreme. Mustang GTD, badass. Now, GT40 engine, what could you be in? GT40-ish chassis in the supervan, the original supervan. I love this thing. I've talked about it on another video, on my transit video. It's awesome, just because it's crazy. And then I found out that the Supervan 3, which we'll pan over to now, has the Cosworth V8 from the Benetton F1 team. Because I was like, I don't know what engine's in this one, and it wasn't open at the back, I think. So, but yeah, apparently F1 engine. Then we've got a Lola T70. Talking about, I thought it was kind of like Ford themed to put it here because the GT40 was inspired by a Lola, but this one came afterwards and it's different. Pretty cool. Look at those. Look at the stalks for the wing mirrors. Pretty insane. You wouldn't want to sort of come across that. Pretty cool car. Mega. I love a Lola. Got a soft spot for those. Another thing I've got a soft spot for is a Noble M600. Like proportionally, engineering wise, I think they're just really cool. I think they definitely are dated, those like wheel arches, and it's a bit awkward in areas and sort of off the shelf lights and stuff. But somehow like I still love it. BMW Neuklasser, Sam Anders Torgerson, Eric Magdal on the interior. It's actually really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing these on the road. It'd be better if I had a straight six, but who knows? We'll see what happens with like M stuff in the future. Back when F1 sponsors were pretty mega. Then we got a load of F1 cars, some Lotus JPS with the black badge from Lotus, which is always cool. Yeah, these are mega. Just having a little bit of fun. I never noticed these brake cooling outlets before and how like inboard the brakes are. I think it's awesome. Then you got Pratt and Whitney jet-engined Lotus, which no idea why that didn't catch on, eh? Imagine jet-engine Formula 1 cars. I love Tyrrells. I've got a massive soft spot for Tyrrells. Just think they look cool. They're like engineering-wise, they're really crazy. I mean, everyone knows the six-wheel one, but just generally, like they're a bit wild and conceptual with their engineering. I love a camel livery. Then we've got some German DTM cars coming through, old Beamers. Anyone who knows their Beamers, chip in. And then this one, I was like, I can't remember who the Essex F1 team was. They were actually like a Lotus F1 essentially. So that's like from 1980-81. It was like a collaboration with Lotus and Essex, or probably like these days where they just had like a Lotus chassis and engine and stuff. Yeah, interesting livery. Then we've got Kimi Raikkonen's 06 McLaren. Then this beast, Chevy Chevelle Laguna from 1974. Like apparently super aerodynamic for NASCAR in its age, which is wild. And a Renault F1 car that did a little burnout. I might lose my legs at one point. cool spoiler. Interesting, like bottom mounted spoiler setup. That's really cool. Now, why don't they just keep the 555 on there? I'm not going to start smoking just because it has 555 on the side. Evo, sidecar racers, just the most mental people in the world. And I'm not, like, I love cafe racers and stuff, I'm not a massive lover, and like Dakar bikes, but superbikes were so loud. Like when they were going up the track and around the paddock, they were really loud. They're pretty cool. I'm watching MotoGP as well, like these guys are just insane. Absolutely insane. Look at that Dakar bad boy. Although it's not in Dakar anymore, is it? Here's a 1955 Mercedes-Benz race transporter known as a Blue Wonder. Imagine doing 105 miles an hour in this thing. And then on the back you've got the W196 Streamliner, which was an F1 car in the 50s, raced by Fangio and Moss, and actually won championships in 54, 55. Which must have been Fangio's, because obviously Moss never got one. Look at that glass. Look at the cantilevered front sort of overhang. You're literally sitting in front of the rear axle, your whole body, which is just weird. So just 50s craziness, awesome, love it. Little McLaren here from Jochen Mass. And then Red 5, Williams, amazing, from what, 91 or 92, I think? BT44 with the Martini livery on it. Then we got the 300 SL W194 1952 Pan America. Like it raced at Le Mans and it won Pan America, like the race through Mexico, which is just one of my favorite races. And just imagine this just shooting through Mexico in 1952 would be wild. And this might be the more aerodynamically unstable one because it doesn't have the little things over the wheels that the later 300 SLs have, like this one, which they added for aero apparently. This is the 55 Mille Miglia winner, 300 SLR. So Sterling Moss, I think still holds the record. I don't know if it's from 55 or 57, but yeah. Some Renault Formula 1 cars with Gordini engines in. Pretty cool. Gordini turbos. And then this is the 911 GT3R, which is from the F1 movie. Livery by Daniel Simon, raced by Brad Pitt's character Sonny Hayes in the movie, which I've not seen yet, but apparently is actually pretty good. And yeah, it's a nice bit of kit. Looks fun. I'd love to give it a go. Williams with the Saudi, like the OG Williams, they had the Fly Saudi livery. Niki Lauda's Ferrari from 75, this one. Weird placement for the logo. Gerhard Berger's Ferrari, Formula 1 car. Then we've got this one of one Ferrari 639 from 1988, signed by Nigel Mansell on the side pod. On the engine cover. Yeah, I didn't hear this start on the Thursday when I was there, but apparently I have seen videos of it starting, so apparently it has gone up the hill since. But yeah, one of one, super rare Ferrari, pretty cool. Really interesting to see, like how like simple in a way it was as well. Then we got some old sort of late 50s, early 60s Formula 1 cars as well. Got the Maserati, we got the Cooper. Cooper's cool, just really nice. I like the Coopers and the old BRMs and stuff. They're really, really nice. And then there's a 61 Ferrari 156 Sharknose. Look at that bad boy. Imagine the aero on that, just like flipping that around. And then we got the Team Ikuzawa and the Arsham Porsche 904 GTS. It's a cool car. I've seen it before. I think it was at Revival last year. But yeah, really, really cool. The 904 is just like a great little package. It's basically it's almost like a Cayman of its day, little mid-engine thing. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. It's just such a nice design. So classic. Then we've got this Fatal Vega from 1964. There was a lot of Fatal Vegas on the. This is on the Cartier Deluxe one, and really interesting design, sort of American engine, French design. Got an old Bristol, which I have a soft spot for Bristols. They've got really clever design on some of them. Some old Sunbeams, which are pretty rapid for their time as well. Very rapid for their time, I should say. It's just so nice. Then there was a lot of bugs on the lawn. It was a very buggy day. The Alpina BMW, Alpina B6. Yeah, here we go, buggy. I love a Veyron. They look so heavy in photos, and I like a heavy car. And in real life, they're actually quite small, and they're pretty timeless. I think they age so well. And yeah, the Super Sports is the best. Like the Nacreducts on the roof, and then just that surfacing at the back. There's a little Nacreduct detail. The surfacing at the back is just amazing. Look at that the way the spoiler comes out, the way that loops around in that sort of squircle with the engine exposed. Absolutely insane. All the lights inboard of that line, so it looks super wide. These days you'd have the lights probably wider than that line, but just sort of everything is contained within that sort of chrome strip going over the top. Another one of the Singers with the engine out. Again, notice no Porsche branding on it. Yeah, I actually want to find out more about that. It's really interesting. Looks like a cartoon, almost looks like a Play Forever model with those wheels on it. Then we've got this. This is the Goldfinger Rolls Royce from Goldfinger, which is just stunning. And then this is a one-of-one commission collection recreation homage to the Goldfinger Rolls Royce. Very cool. You can't get that paint code. It's unique to this car, to that customer. And then we all know this, the Beast of Turin, absolute unit of a car. Basically a flamethrower on wheels from 1911. Yeah, 1911 S76. Imagine this. Just casually flying down the road past you. Wild. And then a Jimny, because I love Jimnys. I used to have one. Thank you.